Well, I'm doing a lot of work, but I'm a psychologist by training. My PhD's in psychology. Around 2006, I was asked to be chair of African American Studies for the first time. And so I accepted that opportunity. And when I got to African American Studies, I was looking for opportunities to merge my passion and my background in psychology with African American Studies. Psychology, my psychology, would be described as liberation psychology. So I'm not really trying to sit back and hear people's problems and help them feel better about their problems. We're trying to deconstruct the source of their problems. And many times, those sources are structural. Psychology is life. Everything we do involves trying to understand human behavior, relationships, mental health, work. There's a psychology for everything. And so in my world, psychology helps me understand how to be a change agent, right? How to motivate people, how to reframe constructs that allow people to have a different perspective that frees them up to behave differently, right? Many times the problems we have are problems we create in our mind. It's not what happened to us, it's how we view, how we perceive what happened to us that creates the stress, right? That's why people can have the same event, but one person is okay, they recover, the other person is done. Because they have a system, a cognitive restructuring system that tells them that this is okay, this is life, I'll be okay. And other people are saying, wow, this is awful, this is terrible, I can't recover. So if we can take that same model of understanding human behavior and apply it to the Black experience, we can make some strides. My most recent adventure is filmmaking. Film or video is a medium that allows you to kind of create narratives that counter those structures. It helps you create narratives that empower, inform, motivate, and can result in lots of change in ways that you can't do in talk therapy. This medium is really a way to do the same work, but more effectively. Even before I understood the role of Black studies, right, and the evolution of Black studies began in the 60s, but it was an extension of the Civil Rights Movement and the Black Power movement, but on campus. The same people who were in the South in the Freedom Rides, they migrated to California, out west, and they became involved with the Black Power movement, right? And then they found themselves on campus, and they brought those politics with them, and they pushed for the inclusion of content of courses on Black folk, and that evolved into Black studies. So many scholars see Black studies as the third way: civil rights, Black power, Black studies. And part of that effort included a community focus. It wasn't simply being in the academic ivory tower talking about fancy topics. It was about how you empower the community, how you bridge the community with the resources on campus to bring change. And so I tried to do that every time I've been chair. That's been a priority for us. We've always done a community lecture series where we just finished our recent round. We were doing it at the BCU Health Hub at 25th. We had weekly lectures on various topics from psychotherapy to psychology of Black boys and girls. And so we have been doing this probably 8 years. When I was chair of African American Studies the first time, in 2007, 2008, we had Haile Gerima, who was an Ethiopian filmmaker from DC. He produced and directed the cult classic Sankofa. So we brought him down to speak to the students about another film he's working on about the Maroons in the Virginia-North Carolina border area. And while he was down here, I was taking him from the hotel to the campus, and we were talking about the struggles of young Black men in the urban centers and what we can do. And he said, we need to get cameras and put them in their hands and let them tell their stories. So I started a film camp for young Black boys. And that kind of, ignited my passion. I completed 4 documentaries. The first one is about the struggle to reclaim Richmond's African burial ground, which was the Shako Bottom. BCU had a parking lot on the burial ground, and the community was up in arms, and so I found out that struggle. And from that, I began to hear people say during the process that VCU was stealing bodies for extermination, dissection from the cemetery. Now, it wasn't true that they were stealing from that cemetery, but it was true that they were robbing cemeteries, black cemeteries. So that was my second film. And both films really had an impact on the movements that had sprung up around that issue. Because now we had a way to package the story that could kind of, disseminate it wide. My first film aired on PBS, which is now BPM. The second one aired on CBS and BPM. Then I have one on the history of black psychology, which is probably my favorite, because it was most impactful, at least to me. More recently, I have one on the history of Central State Hospital in Petersburg. Its original name was the Central Lunatic Asylum for Criminally Insane. It was the first mental institution for black people in the U.S. was opened after the Civil War. The first patients were former slaves. And so that was a lot of fun making, really transforming in terms of my own development. And the one I'm working on now is the history of black studies. Richmond's very historical. Lots of history around the black experience. Much of my work is centered around Richmond history and the black experience. And so it seems almost divine that I'm here. I'm blessed to be able to work in the shadows of where Gabriel and others fought for freedom and liberation. I'm also, blessed to be in the space where Maggie Walker and Oliver Hill, struggled for black liberation. And so this is a good place to be. What I've learned most about the work I do and my passion for it is that you have to do you. You have to do what you're passionate about. You really can't try to make others happy. In academia, we are told to pick a topic and stick to it. And that becomes your track, right? And that becomes your expertise. That's not how I roll. Whatever interests me and whatever suits my passion, I go with it. And I'm a better person for that, right? I've not been married to my career. My career's been married to me. And it's been a vehicle for me to develop as a human being, right? I've been able to travel. I've been able to live in other countries. I've been able to do research on various topics. I'm a filmmaker now. So it's not like I'm chasing this money for grants and other kinds of prestige. I'm trying to develop and learn what it means to be fully human. And so I'm using my career to do that, as opposed to having me adjust to my career and what it demands of me. So be yourself, stay true to yourself. Audre Lorde says your silence will not protect you. So speak out when you have an opportunity. You have a responsibility. Black people, I do. I didn't get here by myself, right? I'm not here because I'm smart. I'm here because other people sacrificed and lost their jobs, lost their lives, right? Because they said no, so I can say yes. So I have to make sure I'm fulfilling my responsibility and reaching back and bringing others along. So that's what my work does. It's about giving back, paying back.